I was not ready to face the society as a single parent with all the comments people would make. So he's disabled, you're single.
He's
Na ni
mixed.
mzungu. I was not ready, so I thought I would find peace in death. I wanted to commit suicide that day. There was a time my son convulsed too much. I went down on my knees. I asked God to take my son. I was tired. He was suffering and that was hurting me. I prayed for my son to die. It didn't happen. I never used to post my son on social media before 2 years old because I was afraid. I didn't want stigma. And I hated everyone that was celebrating their children on social media. I didn't want to see umepost mtoto wako. At 2 years old, I arrived to my final destination called acceptance. I made my first post on Facebook. I mentioned my son's condition. And I found a family on Facebook. I will not lie to you, special needs parenting is heavy. It's not impossible, it's possible, but it's heavy. I lost friends because I don't fit in that circle of sasa utamuita alafu akuje na ule mtoto wake wa kulialia.
Come on.
Now you want to call Rose and then we start folding wheelchairs. There have been so many insensitive remarks. I've faced stigma.
You used your child
to make money.
How now?
No woman can carry a child for 9 months. You can't. Pregnancy, you just waste a whole 9 months because you want to make money. And this is a disability. You will not cure it. And the same goes to church. You can't pray out disability. No, you can't.
A very good morning to you and a warm welcome to LNS. My name is Lynn Ngugi and I know this is not our usual set, LNS, but I'm very intentional with our rebuilding series. So I said no matter where they take me, that is where I'm going to go. And today, God, I'm here at my guest's house. She has such a beautiful, beautiful house, but above all, she is blessed with an incredible son, and she will be able to tell us how she has been able to rebuild her life from, bringing up Elly up. I want her to be able to explain the condition to you so that nisilete hapa ujuaji mingi. Let her be able to explain the condition. But for me, it's how she has been able to navigate iyo process yote ya denial, stigma, all those things, rejection, and she's been able to put her life together, enjoying very beautiful moments with her son. And guys, I can't wait for you to listen to her story. And I just want to say thank you so much for just being incredible supporters of our work. I don't take it for granted. The rebuilding series is very personal to me because I really want to know how people are rebuilding and restoring their lives. So I don't know how many series I can be able to bring on this particular segment, but penye hii safari itatupeleka. And now, without further ado, please allow me to let my guest today introduce herself. Good morning.
Good morning, Lynn.
How are you?
I'm very happy, and it still feels like, wow, this is happening.
Oh,
I didn't see this coming.
Really?
No, I didn't see it coming, and I am very excited, and I'm very happy to do this.
Yes, I am so happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'll compliment you on your hair. You know, when they say melanin popping, this is it. Like, this is it. But before I do that, please introduce yourself.
My name is Rose Atieno Angira. I am a Rotarian and a proud mom, very proud, to a 7-year-old boy, Elly. I call him Elly boy. And Elly has a condition called cerebral palsy, and he also has epilepsy.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, you call him Elly boy.
Elly boy.
Why Elly boy?
That's just like a nice name. I feel good when I call him Elly boy.
Call him?
Yeah.
Let me ask you before we even start.
Yeah.
What does rebuilding look like for you? If you were to define rebuilding for yourself, how would you define that?
Rebuilding, I would define it like coming from it's like seeing light at the end of the tunnel, coming from a point you didn't even know you'd come from. Like in those moments, you didn't see the next. It was just like, this is grounded. There is no more. It's just here. So looking back from all those things that have happened and the current situation, I would say it's indeed a journey of rebuilding myself. And I'm still not yet there. I'm still on the journey.
We are still rebuilding. Hatujafika.
Not yet.
Not yet. I love that you've said it's light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe if you could take us through your story, when you never knew there's going to be light until right now, before you even go there, how are you feeling about yourself and your son right now?
I feel happy, confident, and I feel there was a purpose for my son to be the way he is, because that's the purpose I'm actually living at the moment.
Okay. And just for clarification, you are wearing a Rotary badge here. Who is a Rotarian?
A Rotarian is somebody who focuses on service above self. That's our motto, service above self.
Service above self.
Yes.
And you are doing that very well.
Yes.
Okay. So I will leave the conversation to you, because I want you to be very independent of what you want to talk about. So maybe if you could take us back to where all this began, your lowest moments, until the point you snapped and you said, God, I have to start focusing on myself. I have to start rebuilding myself. So just feel free.
So back in 2015, I think it was end of 2015, I found out I was pregnant at 2 months, almost headed to 3. And at that time, I had separated from my son's father. And when this happened, it was a clear indication that I was going to be a single parent, and going through the process of pregnancy, I was mentally prepared that I was going to raise my son alone, my child alone. I didn't know yet it was a son. So it was also 2 weeks before climbing Kilimanjaro. I am a volunteer with a charity organization, and I climbed Kilimanjaro for a charity.
Congrats. Okay, and the summit?
I made it to the summit, yes. 5,895 meters.
Congrats.
Thank you. So I had a very smooth pregnancy. I didn't throw up. I don't know what. I only threw up one day when I was climbing Kilimanjaro on the 3rd day. All through the pregnancy, there was nothing like morning sickness. There were no mood swings. I was active that at 6 months, I actually even traveled to Lamu. I went by road and came back by air. At 9 months, I did a safari to Tsavo. And at 2 days before my son was born, I visited Fort Jesus. So I'm taking you about my activities during pregnancy.
You are adventurous.
Yes, because there is an assumption that my son or children with CP is because the parents were lazy. They were not active during pregnancy. So this is the point I'm bringing. Will come later.
Good.
So I was referred to a hospital by the nurse who was always taking me through antenatal. I went to and I found Dr. and she told me she's a gynecologist. So for me, that was a win. I thought I don't need to go to another hospital when I already have a gynecologist. So my due date, I had also scans. My scans were very okay. My son was very okay. So my due date was on the 13th of July, 2016. On the 12th, I was taking a walk with my brother in the evening. I used to like those evening strolls. When we got back home, I saw blood stains. I went to the toilet and I saw blood stains. So it was just a small, like a drop. It wasn't much. It was just like a drop. So, you know, for a first-time mother, anything that happens to you in that moment, you want to follow up. So I called And she told me, because your due date is tomorrow, just come to the hospital and come with the baby bag, because we don't know, we have to check you. And in case it's the baby coming, we will just monitor you here. So I went with my baby bag and a friend of mine, and I checked in the hospital at 9 p.m. They checked me, I had dilated 2 centimeters. So they told me I could either go home or stay in hospital. So I chose to stay in hospital for my own safety. So the whole night there was nothing. There were just very mild cramps. There was no labor pain. The next morning around 10 a.m., I was still 2 centimeters dilated. So they told me they were going to induce me. I didn't know what induction was. So they told me that one will fasten the labor pains. I am a first-time mom. I am clueless. So when you tell me about to fasten labor pains, I'm just like, okay, because I trust you. I'm here because I trust you. So I was induced at 10. Before 11, my water broke. And my son was born at 6:45 p.m. They put me to walk on the stairs in that. After inducing me, just after the water broke, they asked me to keep walking on the stairs. And I remember when I was in labor because of the pain, and I asked them to do a CS for me. I was in the delivery room. I was with 3 women who were attending to me and 2 other women. So my son was tired, and maybe looking back, and now that I know about CP, my son was not ready to come out. They forced him. He got tired. His head got stuck. My son came out blue. He did not even cry. And so, when I was lying on the bed where I had given birth, behind my head, that's where they put the baby, so I couldn't see what's happening. Like, my head is here, I'm facing this way, and there's a table next there. So they were resuscitating my son, but I didn't know. So I see my friend who was with me, she's crying, and those who know me in person will tell you I had prepared for this baby. I had prepared everything a newborn would need. Elly was born with everything ready. So I thought she was crying because they used to tease me like, hey, na huyu mtoto si amekuja vizuri, before Elly was born. So I thought she was crying because she was happy. No, she was crying because Elly was blue. So these people bought time. I kept begging them, can I please see the baby? Because normally I see when women give birth, they'll give you the baby to hold. So I wanted to hold my baby while still laying here. About 20 minutes, that's when they prepared water for me to go and take a shower. So when I stood up, I went to take a shower because I was feeling very cold. Then when I came back, I saw pipes on my child, and I was like, why are those pipes on him? Why is he on oxygen? And Emily called me aside and she told me, your son has mild breathing problems because of the process during delivery. So I told her, what do we do? Are we staying here? Then she said, no, we are referring you to another hospital. She didn't even give me enough information. So in that moment, I'm thinking, if it's just mild breathing problem, then maybe we are going home tomorrow or the day after, because that's the image, that's the what she made me see. So an ambulance comes. I'm transferred to another hospital, at Mewa Hospital, and one of Mombasa's best pediatricians came to attend to my son. My son was put in an incubator on oxygen, and I have just given birth. I have not eaten. I'm sitting there watching my baby. The nurses were sleeping. So the pediatrician promised me he will come back the next morning to see my child. And I was paying a lot for that because apart from the hospital, I was paying a pediatrician and I was paying a lot of money just to attend to my son. So the pediatrician didn't show up in the morning. From that morning, my son was breathing so heavily that you could hear him from the gate where you came from. Nobody was attending to him, so I had to create a scene at that hospital. I became crazy. I was at the reception telling them to phone the pediatrician because I'm paying a lot of money for him to attend to my son. The pediatrician came at 6 p.m. You can imagine how my child suffered. I don't know what was going through. That for me was part of negligence again. When he came at 6 p.m., he looked at me and told me, I have done everything I can. I don't think your child will live to see his third day. I stood there and, what are you talking about? I trusted you. I removed my son from the oxygen thing. I removed the mask. I held my son. I cried. I told God, you can't do this. He's not dying. So my friend told me we try another hospital, again, an ambulance. Then we went to Coast General Hospital, and I must say I got the best service at Coast General Hospital. That time they had just renovated the maternity ward. And when I arrived with Elly, the way he was breathing, the doctor who was there in the newborns unit, I can't remember her, but she was a Muslim lady. In less than 10 minutes, Elly was admitted in the ICU. So I still don't know what's happening. I don't know exactly what's happening here. This is day 2. I have not eaten. I can't eat. I'm just there. So Elly spent 7 days in the ICU on oxygen. Lynn, I was given a bed to sleep. I never used to sleep on that bed in the maternity ward. I used to sleep on the benches at Coast General, outside the ICU, because in the ICU, everybody that walks in, when they come out, you're just told your person is gone. My greatest fear was I go and sleep and then wake up to realize my son is in the mortuary. In that period, my late mother came on the 2nd day. So she used to check on me in the morning, and in the evening she would bring me food and I would not eat it. I couldn't eat. I don't think I used to eat. I was looking miserable. Mombasa is very hot. I was wearing a trench coat, very heavy, that I should be wearing here now. Milk was oozing. I was stinking because I don't know anything. So it's my mom, every morning she comes, she's like, Atieno, you have to change. I brought you clothes. I don't even see it. My legs were swollen, I had edema. And on those benches, it was very cold. So on the 7th day in the ICU, I was called. And I realized, oh my goodness, today is my turn. My son is dead. Now that they're calling me, this boy is dead. So when I got in, I panicked because the oxygen thing was not on his face now. And I said, oh God, now it's really gone. I was dragging, I couldn't walk. I just felt weak. Then the doctor there, Elly had a tag on his arm written Baby Rose. So she was like, are you the mother of the baby? Yeah. Why are you crying? And then she hugged me and I said, let me just see his body before you transfer it. Because I went to the doctor's desk. And she told me, no, he's not dead. We've only called you to tell you we are transferring him to the newborns unit for oxygen therapy because he had developed severe jaundice. So jaundice is a first red flag to signs of brain damage. Until this point, I don't know my son has brain damage. I don't know anything. So we go to the newborns unit. Elly is done phototherapy for 3 days. In the newborns unit, Elly was being fed with a pipe in the nose. He could not suckle. Lack of sucking reflex is another sign of brain damage. I didn't know. I know now. So when we were discharged, I asked the nurses there, now that I'm going home with the baby and he's not breastfeeding, what do I do? Mama, enda tu na mtoto nyumbani, utaeka tu matiti atazoea kunyonya. So I went home with my mom and Elly. And my son used to cry. My son used to cry. In the beginning, we thought it was colic. I thought it was colic. No, that boy used to cry. I realized later he was crying because he was hungry. He couldn't suck. So I used to try breastfeeding. But this boy, nothing was coming out because until now, he cannot even suckle on a bottle. So at 2 months, my dad bought me the first tin of formula. I remember we were arguing. I told him, Dad, the pediatrician said, you know, as a first-time mom, the pediatrician said. And he was like, you that grew up with porridge from day one, you don't want to give baby formula. So Elly survived on baby formula for 7 months. So at 4 months old, I used to live on the first floor, and on the ground floor, there was also another child that was born 2 months after Elly. So in the neighborhood, the way children are coming, children used to like Elly. It's those children who made me realize that Elly had a problem, because every time I go for postnatal, they only tell you it's probably delayed milestones. I don't even know what delayed milestones is. But I used to Google, like, baby's growth. So when I told them about my what happened when I was giving birth, they would be like, that's probably a sign of delayed milestones. So these children used to come. They sing for Elly. They sing. My son never smiled. Elly smiled for the first time at 6 months. So Elly was never smiling. Elly was not tracking. Elly could not hold a toy. So the children were like, oh, he doesn't like us. But we sing the same songs to Ryan. Ryan now was the baby on the ground floor. Ryan is happy. Why is Elly not like this? I started walking around to specialists. So I went to the optician because I thought my son was blind. Did thorough check on his eye. There was nothing. They told me the eye structure is good. So there was a taxi guy who used to drive me around for this pediatrician. We visited, I think, almost all the pediatricians in Mombasa have attended to this boy. So the taxi tells me, there is one more pediatrician we've not seen. How could I have not remembered? So we go to Pandya Hospital to see Dr. Karega. So I go in and I tell Dr. Karega, my son is not holding things, my son is not smiling, my son is not this. And Karega told me, Mama, have you not noticed that your son's head circumference is small? I didn't know. I don't see anything. So he took a tape measure, he measured. And then he told me, your son's head circumference is not the size of a typical child his age. So I'm going to refer you to an occupational therapist. No, first he said, umeanza mazoezi? Me siendangi gym. That's what I told him. Really?
You thought it was for you?
Yeah, like he said, umeanza mazoezi? And I was like, me was siendi gym. No, I mean, have you started therapy? What is therapy? okay, I'm going to refer you to an occupational therapist. This one will guide you through everything you need to know because your child was affected during birth. I still don't know what's happening. So I go to the occupational therapist, someone who's played a very big role through my journey to acceptance. And he's still the best therapist for me, Dr. Erastus Schumer. So I go to Schumer's office and his clinic.
Where is the clinic?
Pwani Occupational and Hand Therapy,
Okay.
Mombasa. Oh, he's amazing. So I go to Schumer's office and there were no people that time. There were just some adults who had gone for therapy. Schumer tells me, we start a conversation like, Rosie, have you seen those children wenye wazazi wao wanawabeba, wazito? People are looking at them, making insensitive comments, drooling. And I was like, yeah. So we had a whole conversation around disability, children who are disabled and all that. Then he told me, Mama Elly, you know why we're having this conversation? I'm sorry, but your journey is more or less the same like this. So I asked him, so you mean my child is disabled? No, I didn't say he's disabled. I only said your journey is more or less like this. Your child is a special needs and your child has a condition called cerebral palsy. I left Schumer's office. I went back to where I gave birth because she's not told me anything. I found her husband. I asked her, I wanted answers. Lynn, that couple harassed me, especially the man. He told me I left there with a healthy baby. I should go and find out what happened with my baby while I left. He told me they have done so many deliveries and none of them has been like that. It's not them. He told me, usiwai rudi hapa. Don't you ever come back here. So I told him, I will sue you. I went home, broken. That was the first time in my life I wanted to commit suicide. I was struggling with I went home and thought, these are the people who should help me. They're not telling me anything. There was no way I was going to face the society with a disabled child. I was not ready. There is a stereotype around raising mixed-race children. I was not ready to face the society as a single parent with all the comments people would make. So he's disabled, you're single.
He's
Na ni mzungu. I was not ready, so I thought I would find peace in death. I wanted to commit suicide that day. I was sinking and drowning in a cocktail of emotions. There was grief, there was anger, there was hopelessness, there was confusion. This was the start of denial. Before I even accepted that, my son starts convulsing. My son used to convulse nearly 13 times a day. It was even difficult to put food on the table because you can't prepare it. You start preparing his convulsing. So we went for MRI, we went for EEG, we did all that. Only to come and realize now this is epilepsy, another condition. And it was very severe back then. So there was a time my son convulsed too much. I went down on my knees. I asked God to take my son. I was tired. He was suffering and that was hurting me. I prayed for my son to die. It didn't happen. So I wanted to commit suicide again, second time. I went out to a shop. I was going to buy rat poison. And you see the shops in the estates, there is always that bench.
Hapo nje.
I sat there. I broke down because at this point of my life, I had now built walls very high. I was all alone in this. I sat there and I cried. Nililia tu yangu yote. I just cried like the shopkeeper thought I had probably lost someone. I cried, and when I finished crying, I bought bread and milk and went home. I felt very light. I felt very, very light when I went home. So my journey with Elly continued, and while going for therapy at Dr. Schumer, I met parents there who had children older than mine, children younger, children even more severe, and some of them were always just happy. And then there was me. There was me who was like, So I engaged these parents. I wanted to know how they do it. How do you do it? I want to know what you're doing and how you're doing.
Yes.
How are you doing at 20 years old? Are you not ashamed carrying this child? I want to know how you are doing it. And then I engaged Dr. Schumer a lot. I wanted to know what exactly is cerebral palsy. Schumer took me step by step. He's not only a therapist, he's a psychotherapist.
He's a human being.
Oh God, Lynn, that guy used to. Every time I went for therapy, I was not only taking my son for therapy, he was also my therapist.
Oh.
Yes, he was also my psychotherapist. So I used to look forward to going for therapy because I came back home light.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's how I went with my journey with Elly. And at 2 years old, I never used to post my son on social media before 2 years old because I was afraid. I didn't want stigma. And I hated everyone that was celebrating their children on social media.
Mm.
I didn't want to see umepost mtoto wako. And at home, people would phone me sometimes, hey, saisi Elly anatembea, anavunja vitu. I used to say yes, then I got back to the house and break down. So at 2 years old, I arrived to my final destination called acceptance.
Mm.
I made my first post on Facebook. I mentioned my son's condition.
Mm.
And I found a family on Facebook. So many special needs parents came out. I didn't realize how many people needed to talk. They just wanted one person to step. Then they start talking. So parents started posting their children.
Mm-hmm.
Then one of the parents I met there, she encouraged me that we start a WhatsApp group.
Mm.
So I have a WhatsApp group called Tough CP Caregivers.
Called?
Tough CP Caregivers.
Tough CP Caregivers. Mm-hmm.
We are more than 400.
Oh.
And that is home for us. That is where we say anything, everything, emotional, mental, financial. We say it there because nobody judges you there.
Mm.
No, that is home. That is home for us.
Mm.
So that has been my journey so far. So with time, I also organized an event at World Waters Mombasa for children with cerebral palsy.
Yes.
And I didn't realize, I organized with another special needs parents, Anita. We didn't realize the turnout will be like that. We had a turnout of 300.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I've been posting Elly a lot on social media.
Yeah.
And Elly is famous for his dressing.
Yes.
I'm very happy that people don't see his disability. They see the child.
Yes.
And that is a positive mindset.
But they don't see
the disability.
They see the child.
They see the child. So for me, Facebook is family. Yeah.
How does that make you feel when you see them, commenting about his dress code, the way he looks, the way he smiles? How does that make you feel?
It's therapy. It starts by, Elly started dressing when he was a newborn. Even when I was going through all that, I've shared some photos with you. Elly was born to dress. It's therapy for me, just dressing him. We go there at the garden and I take photos. For me, that's therapy.
Yes.
And then I go and read those positive comments.
Yes.
That's therapy. And then I realized so many parents with children like Elly, they now started posting their children nicely dressed, not what I used to see before. And this is it's not show off for me, it's the inspiration of. And even other parents of typical children are like, hey, mtoto wako ameshinda wangu jamani, nako kwa wheelchair. My mom knows. I lost my mom, but she was my number one supporter. She died in December.
Sorry.
I would say she's the only person who supported me emotionally 100%. So she used to tell everyone, it's so easy to get through my daughter. Go through that boy. Rose will do anything for you. Just go through that child. And it's true. Anybody who's ever come close to my son, you win my heart, I will do anything for you. But you show me discrimination.
You're out. Did you lose friends? You gained a community, but...
I lost friends because I will not lie to you. Special needs parenting is heavy. It's not impossible, it's possible, but it's heavy. I lost friends because I don't fit in that circle of sasa utamuita alafu akuje na ule mtoto wake wa kulialia.
Come on.
Now you want to call Rose and then we start folding wheelchairs. There have been so many insensitive remarks. I've faced stigma. From people I know. But just too in the village when I was eulogizing my mom, I stood up and my friends were there and a woman behind them just said, oh, this one is the one with the abnormal white child. And this is somebody I know. And then she goes ahead to say, definitely she used that to make money. I don't have the money. God should bring that money if that's the reason.
You used your child to
make money.
How now?
No woman can carry a child for 9 months. You can't. Pregnancy, you just waste a whole 9 months because you want to make money.
Kufunga mtu.
No.
Na hata ni mtu hayuko in the picture.
It's not possible. No. It's not. And that brings me to now, when I talk to parents, you can't use your child to make money. And this is a disability. You will not cure it. Just manage it.
You won't cure it.
You cannot
just
cure disability.
It.
No,
you
it's
just
not a
know
disease.
How to manage it.
Yeah, it's not a disease. It's not malaria. And the same goes to church. You can't pray out disability. No, you can't.
Have people told you to go to those churches? Like, you know,
Yes.
the way they say, go to prophet, go do this. Yeah.
Yes, there was a time my cousin went with Elly to a church in Diani. And it was a day for praying for children. And, the pastor asked, are you the mother of the child? She said, no, she's home. Tell her to come and confess her sins so this boy can be typical. You cannot pray out disability.
What sins are you confessing?
Yeah, so it's there. Stigma is there. And I would also generally just like to talk about what is causing CP in Kenya. Maybe now that I've said my story, I should probably just take you through CP. So CP is cerebral palsy. It can happen before a child is born, which is the most rare case. It can then, the major one is now during birth or between 0 to 5 years after a child is born. Yes, you can give birth to a typical child, but they can get CP. After a child is born, in case of like a child suffers meningitis, severe jaundice, or premature babies are at a risk of CP. But in Kenya, it's happening during birth.
A lot.
Of the 400 parents I have in the WhatsApp group, 300 of them, it happened in the labor ward and it's firstborns. It's happening to the clueless mothers. It can't just be a coincidence. No. It's firstborns and it's happening during birth, just like the case I had. And it's nothing to do with the hospital. It's happening even in the so-called best hospitals. Yeah.
What does it have to do? What's the cause and what's the correlation between negligence?
Like in my case, I had dilated 2 centimeters. they should have let me be, even if I was to labor. They are in a hurry to get the money. And the most delicate moment in any woman's life is during giving birth. You can both die, you can die, your child can die, but ending up with a disabled child, like in my case, that is negligence. It's happening. Something is wrong.
That's quite a high number.
Yes, and the saddest part is there are no statistics in Kenya about how many children have CP or how many people have CP. There are no statistics.
Why?
CP is forgotten. CP is 100% forgotten. There are no statistics.
How do the government bodies help? Do they do the disability cards? Do you have that for Elly? Or how does the government help?
I applied for disability card 2 years ago in Malindi. I never got it. I applied again recently. And I told the parents in my group that I was going to have an interview today. People don't have those cards, and those who have, they hardly receive the money because the government is distributing the money depending on your status. Ulemavu ni ulemavu. Disability is disability. Whether you live where, it's not going to the parent, it's going to that child, the affected child or the person. So others receive, some don't receive.
Do they assume maybe because you live in this place,
I heard
you can take care of yourself? Why do you need the money?
Yeah, I heard that they actually are doing home visits to decide who's getting the money. I don't know how true that is. I hear it from the parents in the group. And I'm like, that's not fair. That's not fair. And because, let me tell you, Lynn, disability, everything around disability is expensive. Everything is expensive, everything. I'll give you an example with Elly. I spent 3,000 shillings on epilepsy medication. In total, let's say if I add also the supplements, it's about 5,000 shillings on medication. And Elly's case of epilepsy is mild.
That's per month?
Yes. Elly is on diapers 24/7. This boy is on a special diet. There's still therapists. There's still visits to neurologists, pediatricians. A wheelchair like that one you've seen there, I've not used it for 3 years. It cost me 44K and it's old now. I need another one. So think of those children who are in the village who have epilepsy. How will they afford 5 or 3,000 to buy? And epilepsy is actually the major cause of premature death in children with cerebral palsy. They are dying from that because, and sometimes there's shortage of the medication. The parents asked me to ask the Ministry of Health if we could be having epilepsy medication for free. They cannot live without it. Lazima wameze. They can't. And it's very expensive. It is very expensive. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
They should actually.
It should be free. And sometimes there's shortage. They can't sleep without that medication. And some have more than 1 or 2 epilepsy medications. They need it. CP is, it is really, really, really forgotten. And we would like to also to ask the president that we need a caregiver representative in parliament.
Because people just look at this. No one cares about the caregiver.
No. Nobody. Nobody talks about the caregivers, so we need a representative in parliament. Because, let's say, the mental health of these parents. You see, you've just, like I was just told about CP. It's up to you, the parent, to navigate and find out what CP is, how you are going to go through it, how you are going to handle your child. That is your problem. It's not the government's problem.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. It's your problem. Yeah.
Okay. I hope they've heard.
Yeah.
I think that's something we should actually constantly talk about.
Yeah.
So that we put our voice, we add our voice into it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there are some things in this country that should be free.
Like diapers. Parents are requesting for tax exemption for diapers. If you have the parents of special needs children, diapers are expensive. Imagine the older they grow. We have children with severe CP who are adults.
And they need the adult diapers.
It's expensive. It's very expensive. And a big percentage of special needs parents are mothers. The moment disability joins the family, men walk away.
Let's talk about you as a person now.
Yeah, yeah.
The caregiver.
Yeah.
You are, how is life for you? Are you still doing life as a single mom? Do you go out yourself and just be like, let me put on a bit of makeup and just go out and dance? Or what do you do? You know, have you found your person?
Yeah.
Well, if you are free, if you're free to talk about it.
There's life after diagnosis. And yes, I have my time.
Yes.
I enjoy the parks and I travel a lot within Kenya.
Yeah.
When I can, I can. There are moments I have Rose time, not Mama Elly. There are moments I leave Mama Elly aside. I take care of myself, my child at the moment myself.
Yes.
But still that does not stop me from doing the things I want to do. Yes, I found my other half. Mr. JJ.
Hey, JJ.
And he's an amazing person. And what brought us together is for him was how I take care of Elly.
Wow.
That's what joined us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
He's good with Elly?
Yes. It's a new experience.
Yes.
So it's one day at a time.
Take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you though.
Thank you.
That's good.
Yeah.
You deserve a lot of happiness and a lot of roses.
Thank you.
JJ, bring some roses.
Watch.
Yes, he will watch and bring some roses.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to talk of how you got out of, for anyone that is thinking of rebuilding and they are stuck.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you would tell them that have helped you in your journey?
I would say the first step to acceptance is, first of all, be very patient with yourself and your child. Both of you is something new, so don't be very hard on yourself. And then join support groups. Believe me, in that time you want people who understand you. Join support groups. And then love yourself.
Yes.
Jipende,
Yeah.
especially to single mothers. Oga urudi soko.
Oga urudi soko.
Yeah, don't sit. You know, it's like when God is closing, God will not open another door
Until
you close one. So as long as you continue fighting someone, God won't open you another door. So close that one and let God open for you, because most of them are crying or focusing on the other person more.
their partners.
Yeah. And also, do not focus too much on your child's disability. Focus on the child as a child. That is where we lose it.
Focus
On the child,
as a child.
not on the disability. I hardly, sometimes I forget that Elly has CP. We are just, for me, it's just another child. That's all. Yeah.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah.
Did you ever sue?
I went to a lawyer after Elly was diagnosed with epilepsy. I filed the case. Hata niko na receipt. I keep receipts.
Good.
I paid the lawyer, I filed the case, and I lost because he said you cannot conclude disability until a child is 5 years old. So now that Elly is 7 years old, I think Emily should compensate me because she's cost me a lot. Yeah. Now he's 7 and the disability is there. So yeah, they should. And probably I was just it could just be a suggestion because the negligence is more in hospitals because nobody stands up for these innocent children. If there could be a body that you cause you do something like that from negligence, you're sued for it. It's a lot and nobody's...
Yes. You know, I don't know, there's this, because I've done a few stories on negligence and I'm noticing a trend. We have the general hospitals, because now I did one and I don't have anything against private hospitals, but it's because I've done stories where people have come now from private to the general hospitals and they tend to say they left the private and they got really good services at the general hospital. And I think there's this notion that our general hospitals are so bad. But why am I hearing all this after people face negligence? They actually find solace in the general hospital.
It's true. I don't know what's happening, but like I told you, for me also, Mombasa General Hospital was very good.
Yes.
And the only reason I went to a private clinic was because this woman told me she's a gynecologist.
And she's good at it.
Yes, so when you hear gynecologist and you're pregnant...
It's a plus.
Thank you. That was the only reason I went there.
From your experience from a general hospital, would you highly recommend general hospitals?
I would. I would, because not only Mombasa General Hospital, Elly has been attended at Kemri Kilifi. It's a general hospital, and I don't think there's another better epilepsy center within Kilifi County like Kemri Kilifi. The services are very good. It's just, everything is just okay there, and they're very, for people around that area.
Yes.
They're doing well with epilepsy.
Yeah, because I've noticed it's a trend. I would tend to think private hospitals would give better. Okay, not all. But I was just interviewing another lady the other day, Winnie, and she also went to Pumwani and she got really good service. So maybe we should give them a try more often.
General hospitals are good, but still, we have cases of CP from there.
Exactly.
Not as much, yes, not as much. Negligence is negligence. But I would say the most is from private hospitals, because I wouldn't mention names in Nairobi, but also the ones who gave birth in Nairobi. It was more private.
Of the private.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What are you more proud of?
I am proud that I walked this journey alone. I thought I would not make it. I did it, and it's an inspiration to many people that you can do it. Yeah.
What would you want the world to know about Elly?
He's just unique. He's just like any other child, and he also deserves every other thing that other children have. Yeah.
And for anyone struggling with, you know, the shame, the guilt, the fear, the stigma, what do you want to tell them?
It starts with you, the parent. You're sitting here now. I can't expect you to know how to handle Elly. I have to tell you, I have to show you. But what we assume, I used to assume, is like, si anaona ni mlemavu, she's seeing is disabled, she should use common sense. No. So it starts with you, the parent. Love your child first before others will love your child for you. People will only love your child for you if you love your child. You can't, you saw Elly and you liked him. Why? Because of the love I show him.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
But what I see on these streets is parents have turned these children into sorrow. So a scene of sorrow. You want to make disability look very sorrowful.
Woye.
Woye. No. Don't woye. And it's the first time I'm sure my followers will be very surprised that I mentioned I've been a single mom, because when the way I was taking care of Elly, even when I'm alone, it's nothing to do with mzungu. No, anybody else can do it. This journey is tough, yes, but positive. Yeah,
Quite positive.
A positive mindset.
It's everything.
Yeah. It's like there's a story I've pinned on my socials, which I like sharing with parents. When you're going to have a baby, It's like planning a trip to Italy. So you buy the guidebooks, you learn Italian, you look everything around Italy and you're excited. 9 months you board the plane to Italy. The plane lands, the stewardess tells you, welcome to Holland. Holland? I was going to Italy. Everybody's coming from Italy and telling you how beautiful Italy is. But there is no way you are going to Italy. You are in Holland. And you have to stay there. So as a special needs parent, it's your choice. Holland is beautiful.
You can make it beautiful.
Explore it. Explore the windmills. Explore the beautiful things in Holland.
Wow.
And if you don't, you will never see the beauty of Holland.
Because your mind is stuck in Italy.
Thank you. You will always be, I should be in Italy.
Wow. That's profound.
So it's your mindset. It's just the mindset.
Yeah.
That's it.
To go Holland.
Now we're in Holland, yes.
Now Holland is good.
Holland is beautiful.
Let's explore.
Explore Holland. Yeah.
Look at you. Now that's that's energy is crazy. Like, that's God. You know, even like I'm gonna use it for myself in life. Nikijipata niko Holland, I'm in Holland.
Yeah, you stay in Holland.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will spend the rest of your life
thinking about Italy.
Thinking about
and
Italy.
you'll never go to Italy.
And you can still go to Italy. You can still have another child.
But first to go Holland.
But you have to learn to love Holland.
You can go to Italy.
Yes.
And then you can go to
And then, thank you.
Uganda.
Yes. So everything for me, I would say is, even my own family has never understood how I do it. No, they don't.
Wow.
All they say is, Aki mnapenda mtoto. That's all they say. They don't know. No.
Have you forgiven the insensitive remarks? All those things?
Yeah, at this, I used to get hurt from those things. But believe me now, you can't even come with negative comments on my timeline.
We are busy exploring Holland.
Yes, I'm loving Holland, and I've proved it.
Yes.
You cannot, if you attack me about my son's disability, you have a problem and you're looking for a place to solve it, not me.
Wow.
Not me. And when people look at him, I'm always like, watu wanasimama tu kumwangalia biharusi. Nobody, there's never been a crowd kuangalia Mavi. So every time I'm walking around with Elly and people look, I'm like, but he's nicely dressed.
Yes.
He's looking good.
Yes.
So it's a positive mindset.
Yes. And I'm also here as the mom.
Yes.
I'm slaying.
Thank you.
Twende kazi.
But if you put it like, oh,
Yes.
don't make disability look so sorrowful. No. I strained, back then when I was raising Elly alone. I had my low moments. I had to work and still care for Elly. There were days I never even had money. But those were the days I was posting Elly more. Yes. If people who know me in person, when I'm low, I post Elly more. That's therapy and a positive mindset. So it's tusilie sana. Yeah.
Would you advise the caregivers to also go for therapy, since it's a lot of unpacking?
Now that you've mentioned, we are requesting the government for counseling facilities for caregivers, because it's good to be counseled before and after. Like after I was told Elly has CP, there should be someone in between, whoever told me, and maybe the pediatrician. There should be someone in here. Psychotherapy. Psychotherapy, yes.
Not all will fall kwa Chuma's hands.
Not all will find Dr. Shuma. No. So we really, psychotherapy. And I would like to work, now that I'm in Nairobi, I would like to work closely with special needs parents and organizations that are supporting special needs, especially my major is cerebral palsy.
We talked earlier and people have challenged you to start a foundation in Elly's name. Why have you not done so?
Foundations, from what I've seen in this journey, 99% are businesses. I'd rather just work with the parents, and God willing, in future, I would build a care home for children with cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
I would love to give them, most of them, especially wale wako mashinani, that have never known what life is. Those are the children I would like to build a care home.
I think you've challenged me.
Yeah.
I think I would want to put something together for all caregivers. Maybe a dinner, a lunch. What would you recommend? What do you think I should do?
Elly turns 7 on the 13th of July.
Oh.
So if you want to do something,
Yes.
I would say I would love to celebrate
Yes.
with children with CP born in July
Yes.
who have never celebrated a birthday.
Okay. Okay.
Those who, they are those hawajawai celebrate birthday.
Yes.
So because Elly is turning 7,
Yes.
we could just have 7 children and their
Yes.
parents.
Yes.
And I know you have a big following, so
Yes.
watu wa keki watulete keki.
Tufanye kitu sahi.
Photographers.
What do we need? We need a photographer.
We need a cake.
We need a cake.
Watu wa event.
I know cake. I know who is giving us cake.
Watu wa event.
Watufanyie deco.
Yes.
Tunafanyia happy bash.
Watuambie.
Sasa hii shamba ni kubwa.
We can do it here.
Huku tutapiga kelele.
No. It's okay. We can do it here.
13th July we are here. I think that's a good idea.
And then watu wa makeup. Please come and paint the faces of those women just to build their self-esteem and to remind them that they are still beautiful and there's life.
See, we can get even outfits for them.
Exactly, yeah.
What were elegant. We could do.
Yeah, because
I love that. I love that idea.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking on Elly's birthday. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I will commit
so
to
we
doing
keep
that.
it to 7 parents.
No,
Yeah?
so we are doing 7 parents.
And their children.
So those are 7 caregivers and their children.
Yes.
And these kids must have not celebrated.
That is what I want, because for me it's...
Thank
you. The children who've never even seen cake. There's that child, ajui hata birthday yake ni lini.
Yes. And we are looking for a makeup artist to glam the
mothers.
The mothers. Maybe men.
Mothers.
Maybe we have men also. So
we could have...
depending on the selection. If we have a man, where divine collection, tunakujia suti.
Home 254.
Masi, Home 254, we are coming for hoodies. If we have men, we have divine collection in this country, and we have Home 254. For the women, we have elegance fashion. And who else?
Maridadi Motors will drive them.
Whoa, Maridadi. So Maridadi Motors, you are driving them. You are giving them a good experience.
And Bountiful will take us somewhere after.
Oh. Hey, she knows everyone we work with.
I told you I'm a follower.
Nimeamini. By grace through faith, we are doing this thing. Guys, let's put it together. Let's do it. Honestly, let's do this. Let's come here and have a celebration for those kids. And we'll document everything for you, and we will put it together.
So how do we select them?
How do we select? You're going to give your email, and I'm also going to, because it's a joint selection. Do you have an email? Let's start there. What's your email?
rs.atieno@gmail.com.
Okay, good. rs.atieno@gmail.com. Mine is lynn.ngugi@lnn.digital. If you send an email, CC all of us together so that we can do a joint selection. This is the easiest way. The kids must not have celebrated a birthday. Then, please, if your kid has celebrated a birthday, leave that space open for another parent. So the kids must not have celebrated a birthday. Don't worry about the rest, guys, but remember to provide the contact details, phone number of the caregiver, so that we can be able to call them. So nomination is already open. Send those details to these email addresses that you are seeing on the screen, 77, and then let us do the glamming and the transport, and we will take it from there. I will have a good one. Yes. Najua keki. Benida, nakujia keki. I am going to her. Yes, and anyone else who feels like supporting the initiative, you can you can email us, just CC all of us, and then we will be able to reply. Anyways,
this is exciting.
It's been beautiful sitting and talking to you, and I love that you think even about other people.
Yeah.
You just thought about celebrating birthdays with people who have never celebrated a birthday.
Yeah.
That is going to be so beautiful.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful heart, so keep at it.
Thank you.
You've even now challenged me to air this episode mapema so that we can start the selection process. But congratulations on, I know mindset is not something easy.
No.
To kukua nayo hapa. Changing the narrative and making sure that you are conscious on what you're feeding your mind. I know it's not easy, but look at you, you've done it. And I know you're going to challenge other parents.
Yeah.
So I want to wind up. What would be your parting shot, and also where can my people find you?
So my parting shot goes to parents like me. I know it's not easy.
Yeah.
I know it gets tough, and I know it can be draining. You just have to figure out a way that can help you to manage your mental health. And always don't feel shame in asking for help. Ask. If you feel tired and you want to go and rest,
yes,
don't feel ashamed. And for the society that is watching me, disability is a club. Anybody can join, any day, anytime, anywhere, and there's no joining fee. And in a world where you can be anything, just be kind.
Be kind.
If you have a neighbor or a friend or anyone having a disabled child and they're hiding those children, I used to hide my son. It's because of the society. And what you can do in such a situation is just give them your attention. We never ask for much. The best gift you can give a special needs parent is attention, because we don't talk. That's why we have mental breakdowns. So just listening, because people get tired of our stories.
Just listening.
Just time to know. You see the way we are talking now? This is therapy. Yes, so when you give those parents your time just to talk about, it's therapy.
It's therapy.
Yeah.
Just give them a listening ear.
Yeah, it's therapy. Yeah.
Okay.
And we have a walk for cerebral palsy awareness, the annual cerebral palsy awareness walk on the 1st of July at Nyayo Stadium from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay.
Come and show us support.
Come and show support.
It's organized by CPSK.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Socials, where can people find you?
On all my socials, Instagram, Rose A. Angira, Facebook, Rose A. Angira, TikTok, Rose Angira.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you for welcoming us into your beautiful space. This is
coming
such
back on 13th.
13th, by grace through faith. Watu wa catering, we need to eat also. Nilikuwa nimesahau, we need to eat watu wa catering. So please, even guys catering, whoever, guys come through. It's us. Just email me and we will finalize all the details. Hatutaki kupeana namba za kuchangiwa hapa. Like, we don't want controversies or things like that. So we can handle this. If you are interested, just email us and we'll see how to put it together. And again, thank you, as I was saying, for welcoming us into your beautiful home.
You can stay here.
Your home is so therapeutic. It's so beautiful. Like I feel like nataka kuchukua lesson niende nilale huko nje kwa nyasi. So no, it's so beautiful. And I just wish you all the best and see you on the 13th of July. Me too. Let's do this, right?
Let's do this,
and thank God for bringing us together. It's been an honor. It's been an honor, right?
I'm honored also.
Nani alijua hii episode yetu inaenda kuisha hivi, my people. Thank you so much for tuning in. I don't even have more details to add. I'll just say what she finished with. A statement, a quote I see more often. In a world where you can be anything, just be kind. Just be kind. Everyone is dealing with a battle you have no idea about, by the way. Everyone is fighting a battle you have no idea about. Just be kind. And this episode is mainly dedicated to parents or the caregivers of children or even adults who are abled differently. There is hope. There is hope. Love your people as people. Do not pay much attention to the condition. Just love them as people. And I want you to tell me what you think of today's conversation, and also leave your thoughts on the comment section. And just a reminder, 13th we are going to do it. So the email ziko hapa one more time. Send us an email. We'll do the selection. We will post all the 7 people na tukutane hapa. So guys, come through. Let's make it a very beautiful event. And depending on how it turns out, we can always do more and more and more after. Yeah, so asanteni for tuning in to today's episode. Yeah, now I want to go where Elly takes me. Tukue na viti zetu ama tusikue na viti zetu, we are going where the show takes us. And asante to my incredible team for putting this together. I don't take you for granted. And as always, if you want to share your story, info@lnn.digital, that's where you are able to find us, or lynn.ngugi@lnn.digital. Yeah, for Gala Reel, it's gala.njeri@lnn.digital. Men's Desk coming to you this August. We are really looking forward. So to the men in the platform, you can start sharing your stories. joshua.karanja@lnn.digital. That's where you are able to find these people. Tuonaneni tena, go join our Telegram channel for more updates, and may God bless you. Till next time, continue rebuilding yourself. It's our year of restoration. Sawa sawa. Bye-bye.